All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our call with Trey Wallace. As always, please raise your hand and I'll unmute you. We'll start with Tyler Donahue.
Good morning, Trey. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. We talked to you after the game Saturday. You said you weren't quite sure how many people were going to show up to this game on your behalf. Do you have a better sense for that? And at least it's how many tickets are getting used by the Wallace fan club?
I could say it's just majority family, so about 8 tickets. Not that much, just majority family.
Sam Cohn.
Hey Trey, I want to ask you about Mitch Tinsley. A lot of people have talked about kind of him being the older guy in the room and someone that a lot of people look to for advice. I'm curious if there's any advice he's given you or kind of what those conversations have looked like with him.
Yeah, Mitch is like he's a straight up guy. So like I ask him like questions about the field, like how to read certain defenses and something like that. And he always just gives me tips and reminders when like reviewing the triangle and like looking at the DBs to tell what coverage it is.
Donnie Collins.
Trey, how approachable is he in those situations, and how valuable is a guy like that who's been around and done a lot of things for a younger guy who's just kind of learning the ropes in college?
I can say he's super approachable. He's cool about the situation. He's like he looks forward to helping people in that situation. Like he's one of those guys that wants to help others get better at the same time as him get better.
Andrew Destin.
Trey, Sean talked yesterday about how in the spring there was kind of a moment that switched for you where you were able to take kind of that next step with your development. Could you take us through that, and what do you think has been the big change for you now as you go in here into year 2 with the program?
I could just say like during that spring, it was just that time where like it clicked for me and like everything was like slowing down. The game was slowing down for me. So I could say that now, like as I said before, playing a little last year helped me this year because last year the game was really fast. So playing like a couple games last year really helped the game speed down for me. So like everything moves slower.
Nate Bauer.
Trey, have you been to Auburn games? Like, have you been to the stadium, and how many times? What's the experience been like? Yeah.
Yes, I have been to a couple Auburn games. They have a great fan base. The stadium's big. It's gonna be a great environment. It's gonna be a great environment to go down there and play. And you come to Penn State to experience games like this.
Tyler Donahue.
You know how difficult it can be to get on the field as a freshman and make plays as a true freshman. What has Amari Evans done since he arrived on campus to put himself in a spot to do that this September?
Amari's a hard worker. He comes into work every day. He stays after hours with the quarterback. He'll meet outside of like practice time, meeting time, just to like he'll have everything down pat. So when it's time for him to perform, that he knows everything down packed and that he can perform at his greatest.
Donnie Collins.
Just so I'm clear, why were you going to Auburn games? Was it for recruiting? Was it just as a fan? And on film, what have you seen from their secondary that's impressed you?
I've been there once on a recruiting trip and like once or twice just as a fan, just going to the game. And I could say that as of their DBs, they're great. They're good. They're like aggressive, speed wise. It's gonna be a good challenge.
Mark Wogenrich.
Trey, is Montgomery, Auburn, or Alabama territory? Who'd you grow up rooting for?
I grew up rooting for Alabama.
Tyler Donahue.
We've heard a lot of good things about what Olu has done through 2 games this season. I'm curious, through the months that led up to this season, what did you see that gave you optimism that he was going to be a potentially dominant tackle?
I knew Olu was going to be dominant ever since one of the workouts. He attacked one of the workouts. One of the workouts is like a challenging workout we do so we all come together as a team. So Olu was killing one of the workouts, winning reps. He was just doing everything he was supposed to do. And then during the spring, he was competing, dominating. So like leading up to this season, I knew that he was going to have a great season.
Andrew Clay.
Hey Trey, I know I don't know how much you got to travel last year as a true freshman with the team, but how would you compare the atmosphere there at Auburn to some of the other places in the Big Ten?
Um, it's been a minute since I've been to Auburn. I would say that it's somewhat similar to Ohio State, like how Ohio State Stadium set up, and like the size of the stadium is similar to Ohio State, and like the fans are somewhat the same as Ohio State. They're energized, they're into the game, they're gonna interact with the game. It's just gonna be one of those environments.
Alvaro Torres.
Hi, Harrison. I hope you're having a great day. I am Roberto Torres with Ensoners Latin American Network. Well, you already said that you grew up being a Crimson Tide fan. How important to you is beat Auburn because of the well-known rivalry, the Iron Bowl? And how do you think that the atmosphere at the stadium will get pressure to you?
I wouldn't really say like the game is like an Iron Bowl. Like I would consider like me wanting to win for the Iron Bowl. I want to win because Penn State, I want to be 1-0 throughout at the end of the week, and we're really looking forward to this game. It's our next game, so this is our main focus. And then I could say that the environment won't really be a problem for me.
Nate Bauer.
Trey, we saw Jaden Dotton a little bit last week. I haven't seen a ton of him. Can you just maybe scout his game, like what he brings to the table?
Jaden is a dog. He's one of my guys. He's gonna come to work every day, ready to work. He's gonna put in the work. He's just one of those guys that'll know multiple positions and know what to do. So whenever you need him, he's that guy.
Daniel Gallen.
Harrison, growing up in Alabama, in such a place where college football is, very intense. I mean, what's your favorite college football memory growing up there, whether it's Auburn, Alabama, anything else?
I wouldn't really say I have a greatest memory, because I can't really think of like a memory that. Nah, I couldn't say that I really have a greatest memory for college football between the two teams.
Tyler Donahue.
Yesterday, Coach Franklin told us that the game's really slowed down for Drew pretty quickly, getting some game experience. Is that something you can see on the practice field as well, the way he's handling himself now compared to maybe how he was a month ago?
Yeah, I could say that Drew is like one of those guys that he like adjusted very fast. So like you can see him like how calm he is, how professional he is. He's just taking everything seriously as a professional as he should. So like, I could say like during practice, he treats himself as if he's a starter.
Nate Bauer.
Speaking of the starter, what's unique about Sean? What as a quarterback and maybe just his presence in the locker room?
I could say Sean's a leader. He's one of the leaders for the team. He's always going to keep the team in pack so we can always be as one, and he's going to keep everybody on their 10 toes.
Tyler Donahue.
I know you guys have a lot of pride on speed at wide receiver, but when Nick does what he does last Saturday, how does that maybe open things up for everybody on the offense now that there's film out there of him going long distance over and over again?
I feel like the explosive run game will definitely open up the pass game, because we'll have like a two-way go. So either you're going to stop the run or you're going to stop the pass.
Any more questions for Harrison or for Trey? All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, Trey, for your time this morning.
Thank you. No
Thank you, everyone,
problem.
for joining us.
All right.